Now we will discuss equilibrium, demand and supply, how they will work together in the economy. So you write the heading equilibrium. Equilibrium. It means now we will take both the cases together, demand as well as supply. So again we'll make one graph. This is your demand curve. This is your supply curve. And this is your equilibrium point called E. Here we have a P star. Here we have Q star. Star doesn't mean anything. It's just equilibrium point. P1 लिख लो कोई problem नहीं है पर P star you write P star and Q star. So it means the total number of quantities supplied here is equivalent to what the consumers are ready to pay. ठीक है. Suppose I'm a shopkeeper and I'm selling iPhone at 1.5 lakh rupees. Will I be able to find any consumer? No. That is why we take the real life example of bookshops. After Amazon and Flipkart, what happened to the physical bookshops? What happened? There was a downfall in the selling of those traditional bookshops. But there are some of demerits also, some demerits of Amazon and Flipkart. What are those? Delay in delivery. Suppose you are thinking to buy India yearbook just 7 days before your preliminary examination. देख लें यार एक बार क्या होता है. इंडिया ईयर बुक भी बहुत सुना है, पढ़ लेते हैं, सब पढ़ रहे हैं तो थोड़ा एक पलट के चले आते हैं. 7 days पहले. So will you order from Amazon or you purchase from some bookshop? Bookshop, obviously. Getting my point? So it's all about demand and supply. You have demand, but here there is no online supply. 4 दिन में बुक आएगी, कोई मतलब नहीं रहेगा. But what happened to the other shops? Online prices are quite low in comparison to other bookshops. Why? Because there is no particular shop. Amazon की shop नहीं है. They have just go downs. They are just selling. So there is less cost. If you are taking one shop in Rajendra Nagar and taking one shop outside Delhi, obviously outside Delhi the rate is quite low. You can deliver from that place. So it means the absorption of your cost is pretty high. If you find some book on Amazon at 500 rupees, they will give you discount more or less 40%, 50%. But here you will find 10%, 20%. Because there are some cost involved in it. उसमें क्या है? सिर्फ consignment की cost है, delivery cost, nothing. 2 things. Okay. So where prices and quantity demanded matches. There are 2 concepts in economics. Surplus. Do you understand surplus? Extra. Simple. So producer surplus and consumer surplus. Suppose you are ready to buy one laptop. Oh, okay, we can say one iPad. You are ready to pay 30,000 rupees for that. 30,000. But the rate is 26,000, 27,000. But what is your capacity? Is 30,000. Suppose you are living in a remote location of Arunachal Pradesh. So you have to go to maybe Guwahati or Kolkata to purchase that Apple iPad. So you are ready to pay 30,000 rupees. Plus your traveling cost, delivery charges, etc. From 25,000, the price of iPad, shopkeeper is ready to sell at 20,000 by giving some discount. Getting my point? So that 10,000 of bracket, from 20,000 to 30,000. The final deal, suppose, will set at 25,000. So that will be the point of equilibrium. You are ready to pay 26,000, obviously, because you are ready to pay 30,000. So you can pay 26, you can pay 27. You can also pay 24 if you are good in bargaining, negotiation. Shopkeeper will sell you at 24,000. So these negotiation will come or will take control from demand and supply. If suppose shopkeeper has only 2 iPads, then he will not sell at below 25,000. He will sell at 25 or maybe more. Suppose there are 3 consumers. One is asking for discount and another 2 is ready to purchase at 25,000. And he has only 2 iPads. He will sell at 25. If there are 3 consumers are ready to pay 25 or more, he can sell at 26, 27. Getting my point? So it means from 20,000 to 25,000, we have producer surplus. It means producer or seller can stretch in this limit. The stretch limit of consumer is from 25,000 to 30,000. And the final deal is struck at maybe 26, 27, 25, whatever will be the situation. It is known as equilibrium point. I hope it makes sense. Any doubt? Equilibrium point will be at where demand and supply matches. Now there are third factor also. What we can market mechanism, because I'll be using this term market mechanism. What is market mechanism? So you write first market mechanism, put a colon. It refers to a situation. It refers to a situation where consumer and producer will able to find equilibrium point, and the factor which affects the most is prices, is price of a commodity, you write, is price of a commodity. Okay, full stop. So from now onwards, if I'll say market mechanism, it will consist of 3 things: demand, supply and prices. Getting my point? If you read NCERT, you will find only 2, demand and supply, market mechanism. But in real situation, we have 3 factors: demand, supply plus prices. Okay. Suppose I'm ready to provide free lectures and people are ready to attend those free lectures. Prices matters or not? No. Yes or no? No, because I'm not charging anything. But there is one factor. You will ask for fees. If I'll say there is no fees. Getting my point? But price is one of the factor. Although I'm not taking any amount, but this is the factor. You will ask for it. Okay? So from dollar and rupee, we will say that equilibrium position is currently at 70 or maybe 70.19 जो भी चल रहा है. That will fluctuate daily on a daily basis. So just to know about few details like stock market points, like GDP data, just approximate figures. What's the inflation data? What was the declaration of that monetary policy committee in the recent bi-monthly policy review? So need little bit of data. So rupees, if someone asks, the rate of dollar is 70 rupees per dollar. So 70 rupees is equilibrium point. It means at 70 rupees, Americans are ready to supply dollar. And at 70 rupees, Indians are exchanging rupees for dollar. if equilibrium point changes, suppose 71, what are the factors? That we'll see in the later classes. Now on the next point, next paragraph you write, you make two columns, demand for dollars and supply of dollars. Two columns, demand for dollars and supply of dollars. Now you will tell me who will demand dollar. Who will demand dollar? Importers. So you write first one, importers. And on the other side, he will write, on the other side, who will supply dollars? Exporters. Next point, on the demand side. Now, any other example? Who will demand dollar? Indian tourist. Indian tourist. On the other side, what will you write? Who will supply dollar? Foreign tourist. Another point. What will be the third point? Any idea? Think about it. थोड़ा brainstorming करो. Who will demand dollar other than these two? Right, Indian investors. Indian investors. On the other side, simple, foreign investors. So if some company brings FDI in India, they will supply dollars, because in India they need rupee to transact, to negotiate, to deal with. So they will supply dollar and they will receive rupee, and they will spend rupee into our country. Any other example? These three are the most important. Any other example? Government, we can say. Investors में आ जाता है generally. If government is investing. ठीक है, these three are major important point. I think all summed up in these 3 points. These are broad topics. So please do remember these points. Who will supply dollar, who will demand dollar? Because in exam, if UPSC gives some statement, because the trend is changing from current to some static part also. They ask the question of opportunity cost, core economics, microeconomic NCERT. That is unfair, totally unfair. Because opportunity cost is not a general study subject, general study topic. Okay, let's see.